Hello yogis, today we're going to do a really gentle, nice hip opening class. So if you have a blanket, a block or a book, that might come in handy in a little while. So have those near your mats. And we're going to start on our backs today. So go ahead and come down to your spine. Keep your knees bent here. Maybe allow them to come a little wide with the feet and let the knees come together, and that can start getting into the hip flexors a little bit here. That's option one. If you want to start really getting a nice deep hip opening here as we center, you can bring these together, feet together. The closer your heels are to your glutes, the deeper the sensation will be in the stretch. So you would let your knees fall apart, let your feet touch, maybe rest your hands on your belly. And if you come into this and you're just like, that's not good, you can either stuff some blankets or pillows under your outer thighs or come back to that first option. So wherever you are here, just inhale nice and deep for a count of 3. Feel the belly expand into the palms. And then exhale for a count of 3. We're just going to cultivate that 3-part, it's called a Durga breath. Letting things just kind of settle down onto the mat. If you need to make any wiggles or anything here, go ahead. And we're just cultivating that breath. Feeling the belly rise on the inhale. Feeling the belly soften and fall on the exhale. And you can have eyes open or closed, or maybe just a soft gaze at the ceiling. Each inhale, try to draw a little bit more air into the lower lobes of the lungs. Really feel that expansion. And then on the exhales, maybe start to think about drawing the navel towards the spine as we expel all that stale air out of the lower lobes of the lungs. And then as we're here cultivating that nice big deep 3-part breath, you can always layer in the breath with sound on the exhale. So to do that, you can constrict the vocal cords in the back of the throat like you're trying to whisper, but the mouth is closed. And you'll hear this kind of ocean sound on the out breath. It's a really nice way to allow the mind, as it gets pulled away with thoughts like it always does, you can kind of anchor those thoughts into that breath. So every time a thought pulls you away, bring it back to the sound of the breath exiting the body. Allow the shoulders to be soft. The head is heavy. Trying to soften, if you're in this bound angle pose, a little bit more with each exhale. We'll stay here for another 5 deep rounds of breath. Make them as deep as you can. Big, expansive in-breath. Nice, long, complete exhales. Softening, relaxing, and letting go. Good. Wherever you are here, take one more deep breath in. Long exhale. If you have the knees wide here, go ahead and draw them back to center, nice and slow. Good. And then maybe draw the knees into the chest here. Let that lower back release just a little bit. Maybe a little rock side to side might feel good. And draw them in as deeply as you want, lengthening that tail, compressing that lower back and hips into the floor. Take one more deep breath in. And then as you exhale, keep that right knee where it is. Let the left foot release to the earth. And then you're gonna take a half happy baby here. So allow that knee to come nice and wide. You can stay right here, just holding onto your knee, drawing it towards that shoulder. If you want to take a full half happy baby here, you can bring that right elbow to the inside of the right knee, and then either grabbing the outer edge of the ankle, maybe the outer edge of the foot, yogi toe hold if you got it. So wherever you are here, try to get that ankle over the knee, and then start to draw that knee down towards the earth. It might not ever get there, that's okay. And then we're counterweighting by letting that left knee kind of fall open to the left, so the hips remain pretty even on the mat. And you can just stay here and breathe into that space that you're opening that right hip. If you want, you can create a little movement here by maybe pressing the heel up a little towards the ceiling and start to draw some circles on the ceiling with your right heel. And you can make these as big or as small as you'd like to. Sometimes a lot of people will encounter clicking in the hip socket. If that's going on, either just stay static or make those circles smaller. Keep the breath nice and deep. If you're making circles, go ahead and take them the opposite direction a few rounds. If you're staying static here, you're just still drawing that knee down towards the earth with the weight and the leverage of that right hand. Take about another 3 long breaths, with or without movement. Good, deep breath in. And then on the exhale, draw that left knee back up to center and take this right foot to the top of the left knee. Flexion in the right foot, keep the knee joints safe. You can stay here, pressing open, maybe a little rock, that can feel good. So you stay here and just breathe if this is your stretch. You'll know. If you want to go deeper, you keep that flexion in the foot, draw that left knee in, and then maybe clasp the hands behind that left thigh, maybe behind the left shin, and that right elbow is landing on the inside of the right thigh. So as you draw that left knee towards you, you're pressing that leg away, the right leg. And you can do whatever you want here, maybe keeping your mind attached to something other than what's going on in that right hip. You can wiggle around with that left foot, flex and extend, maybe a little rock here. Let the shoulders relax. So when we come into these really deep postures, sometimes the first thing that happens is we start to wear our shoulders like our earrings because we're tensing. So let that go, let that be relaxed. You can even wiggle the head a little bit. Still breathing deep here. Take about 3 more breaths. Nice, 1 more inhale. Good, on the exhale, we're gonna take the left foot and bring it back to the earth. If you're already there, just wait, stay right where you are. Still have a figure 4 here with the legs. Keep flexing that right foot. And then we're going to take that right foot towards your left. So we're going to think about keeping this shape of this figure 4 and just start to lean towards your left. Maybe that right foot comes to the earth, maybe it doesn't. It doesn't matter. You can stay here with that right arm pressing open, or if you want even a little more, you might be able to grab that left foot and hike it up into that left glute. So you have a little bit of a crisscross going on here. So just breathe. Deep breaths in and out. You don't have to have that foot in your hand either. You can just stay right here, getting a little deeper into that outer hip, lower back. Still breathing. Take 2 more breaths. Big inhale. Long, complete exhale. Slowly start to make your way back out of that. And then release that right foot to the earth. Knees are bent. Just stay here for a moment. Take that in on all that nice openness that you feel in that right hip compared to how you may feel in that left hip here. And we're going to fix that in just a second. Take a deep breath in. Long exhale. Good, and we'll take it on the other side. So take that left knee in. Maybe you're just holding here with the shin, drawing that knee towards the left shoulder. If you're going for the happy baby, that foot's gonna go up toward the ceiling. Maybe the elbow to the inside of the leg, maybe grabbing onto the ankle, the foot, yogi toe hold, whatever you have here. Good. And then we're drawing that knee towards the earth. Feel the opening happening now on this side. And you can stay right here, counterweight with that right knee, falling towards the right. Keep the hips nice and even. If you would like, you can maybe start that movement on this side, if it feels right. So one side might do something different than the other. Just feel into what you need here. And it might be different every time we do these postures. So press the heel to the sky, and then maybe start drawing some circles in the ceiling. And again, if it doesn't feel good, then just stay static, hold here and breathe. We're still getting a really big opening in that left inner thigh, left hip socket. Breathing, trying to relax everything in the upper body. If you're taking those circles, go ahead and switch the opposite direction, just a few rounds. Take one more big inhale. Nice. Exhale, go ahead and bring that right knee straight up to the ceiling. Take that left foot and place it on top of the right thigh, flexion in that left foot. Decide if you want to press open here and just stay here, little rock maybe and breathe. Or if you want to go in deeper on this side, draw that right knee in. Maybe the shin here, elbows creating that space on the left. So be wherever you are, shoulders relaxed, maybe static, maybe a little movement. Noticing how the side might feel, maybe a little more pliable than the other side, or it might be a little tighter than the other side. So we're just noticing here, we're not having to change or fix anything, just taking in that information. Still breathing. Take 2 more rounds of breath. Beautiful. Now we're going to take that little twist in our supine pigeon here. So keep the legs the way they are. And then slowly start to take the sole of that left foot towards the earth, keeping that number 4 here. You'll start to feel into that lower back and outer hip. That foot might come to the floor, it might not. If you need to, you can always put a block or a book or something where you can rest that. Keep that knee going to the ceiling. Maybe you can reach back and grab that right foot. I think it's my right foot. It's hard to tell when you're in this position. It's like twister, right? So just breathe, relax the upper body, feel all those sensations that are arising here in the left side, and just be with it. Just breathe through it. Good, we got 2 more rounds of breath here. Deep inhale in. Long exhale. And then go ahead and release that side. Draw everything back through center. Good. And then we're going to take a full happy baby here. Release that lower back. So the knees come wide. Again, you can just wrap arms around your thighs and rock here. Or you can bring the elbows to the insides, grabbing ankles, shins, outer edges of the feet. And then rock it out. Some people like to take a really big movement here. It might feel good, like straightening one leg and bending the opposite in. A little roll to that side, and then try the opposite. Or you can just stay right here, drawing the knees to the earth. Take 3 more deep breaths. Think about lengthening that tail away from you, so we're just grounding and rooting into that lower spine. Head and shoulders are still heavy here. Good, take 1 more breath in. Exhale, bring those knees together. Give yourself a little hug here, maybe nose to knee. Big breath in. Exhale, let that go. Good. So from here, we're going to come up into our tabletop. So you can either rock and roll, or you can roll to one side and come to seated. And then if you need to pad up your knees, you can always use that blanket under the knees, or if you're on a mat, you can just fold it and give yourself some more cushion. And then go ahead and plant your palms. We're going to take that spine in all 4 directions that it's meant to go today. So taking cat-cow here. Go ahead and press away from the earth. And then as you inhale, a little bend into the elbows, tip head and tail up. This is cow. So we're really thinking of extending the shoulders down the back, opening the front of the body. And as you exhale, round through the spine, press the floor away, head and tail drop, pull the belly in. Coming back to neutral. Exhale, C curve towards your right. Feel that nice stretch along the left side. Maybe gaze at that right heel. Inhale back to center. And then exhale to the left. Good. Inhaling back to center. And exhale here in neutral. Take that 1 more time, all 4 directions. Inhale to head and tail up. Exhale, round through the spine. Inhale to center. Exhale, C curve right. Inhale, center. Exhale, C curve left. Good. Come back through center. We're going to get a nice little stretch for the outer hips and thighs here. So go ahead and take that right leg straight on back. Press into that floor, draw the belly in, look right down between the hands. Internally rotate that inner thigh so the right toes are facing the earth. Pressing back like you're trying to stand on the wall behind you. Core is engaged. Good, just hold here and breathe. 1 more breath. Good, as you exhale, travel that right foot towards your left. As far as you can, bring the toes to the earth. Press into the floor, lengthen here. Now exhale and C curve towards your left. Looking back at those right toes, getting a nice big stretch along that whole right hip, hip flexor, lower back. Breathe. Good, 1 more breath. Long exhale. Inhale, bring that all the way back up. And then set that right knee down. We'll take it on the other side. Step back with that left foot flexion. Press the earth away, core is on, gaze is down at your mat, shoulders relaxing. Good, breathe. So we're doing a little core here, not too much. We're just engaging the whole midsection of the body to hold us in this space. Take 1 more deep breath. Good, exhale, travel that left leg as far as you can towards your right. Let those toes come down to the earth. Inhale, lengthen the spine forward, and then exhale, C curve towards your right. Gaze back, feel the stretch now on this left hip. Breathe deep. Good, 2 more breaths. Keep pressing back through that left heel if you can. 1 more inhale. Good, exhale, slowly draw that leg all the way back up. And then go ahead and bring that down. We're gonna take a wide leg child's pose here for a moment. Release that lower back so the knees come wide, the big toes touch behind you. Slide the glutes back towards your heels. Reach long overhead. Maybe the forehead will come down to the mat. And then if you're here and it doesn't feel good for your knees, you can keep those hips high. This is like puppy dog pose here. You can keep the hips high and just allow the forehead to come down to the mat. I'm getting a little stretch here for the whole lower back. Just breathe wherever you are. We're going to take about 5 long breaths here. Good, big inhale in. Nice long exhale. On the inhale, go ahead and slowly come all the way back up through center. Good, we're gonna come down to our bellies here just for a moment and work that lower back a little bit. So walk your hands a few inches in front of you, slide the hips forward. Again, engaging the core here. We're in a modified plank pose. And we're gonna lower ourselves down to the mat as slow and controlled as we can. So think about, this is called chaturanga arms. Instead of out wide, you're letting the elbows point to the back of the room. Maybe shave the ribs here on your way down. Slow, slow, slow. Maybe even a little shake along the way. And then once we land all the way down, make yourself nice and comfortable. Flatten the tops of the feet. Let your arms come long overhead. And have your eye gaze down at the mat so that neck is nice and neutral. We're going to work opposite ends of the body here, working into that whole lower back. So from here, go ahead and lift the left leg and the right arm. And just hold here, reaching through those right fingertips, reaching back through that left leg. Feel that lower left quadrant to the back. And breathe. For 3, 2, 1, lift a little bit higher, 1 more breath in, and then exhale, set that down. Good, other side, lift that right leg, lift the left hand, reach, eye gaze is neutral, neck is neutral. For 3, 2, 1, lift a little bit higher for 1 deep breath in. And then exhale, set that all down. Good. We're going to bring it all together now. So both arms, both legs lift. Inhale, come on up like Superman. Neck is neutral. We're breathing. For 3, 2, 1, lift it all up a little bit higher, and then exhale, set it down. This is going to be the best child's pose of the day here. So bring your palms next to your side, tuck those elbows in, knees stay down. We're going to reverse that modified push-up, nice and easy, all the way up, and sink the hips back. You can have wide legs here again, or you can have these together. See what feels good for you. Again, hips high is another option. Breathe into that lower spine. Take 2 deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Good. On the inhale, go ahead and slide everything forward. Find tabletop. Coming into downward dog here. And we're going to move into a full pigeon from there. So if you try coming into full pigeon, it doesn't feel good, pressure on the knee joint or anything, then we have that first option that we did on our back in supine position where we crossed our heel over the top of the thigh. So giving it a try here, spread the fingers wide, straight arms, lift the knees, the legs go long,
And then see if you can have your feet about hip width apart here. Maybe walk your dog out just a little bit. Lifting one heel at a time, then settle it back. Let the head be heavy. See that you're pressing into all 4 points of the palm and fingers. Breathe. One more inhale. Nice long exhale. Good. Now from here, center that left foot. We're going to raise that right leg up, 3-leg dog, tip the hip, open it up here, and then maybe take some of those nice big circles with that right knee. Good. And then take those circles the opposite direction, just a couple rounds. I know those arms are pressing strong. And we're feeling some heat build in the shoulders here. Take one more round. Good. Go ahead and straighten that right leg. Now we're going to shift forward here and we're going to draw this right knee up towards the right wrist. And the right foot's going to fall between that left wrist and the left hip. So start to wiggle, 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 wiggle that long left leg back. And then you can flatten the top of that left foot onto the earth. So that leg is straight back from that left glute. And then here, the body's nice and tall, and we're letting the weight of the body sink down that right hip. If you have a big gap here between your hanger and the floor, you can always take a blanket or a block or something and put that in there. And flexion in that right foot here to keep that knee joint safe. If you're here and you're like in pain, then come on up. Just drop onto that right hip and come all the way back down to your back and cross that right ankle over that left upper thigh and take that supine pigeon. If you are here, take a deep breath, lengthen, and then as you exhale, keep the length in the spine. Just start to walk the hands forward a little bit. Maybe start to bend the elbows. Maybe the forearms come to the ground. And then maybe you stay here for a few rounds of breath. If you want to move in a little bit more, then maybe the elbows can widen. Keep that chest long, and then maybe the head will come down towards the mat. So this is full pigeon pose here. You can stay right there for a few breaths. And again, making yourself come out if you need to. Wherever you are in this one, maybe soften the gaze, close the eyes, and just connect with the sensations that are going on in that right hip. So you'll find that these sensations kind of ebb and they flow. See if you can ride that with the breath, taking the mind's eye into that space. And as we inhale, think about creating some opening in that right hip socket. As we exhale, allow that space to relax, soften, and release. I'm going to be here for about another 8 deep rounds of breath wherever you are. Notice the mind, notice the thoughts. Notice the judgments as they come up, and just allow them to pass right on by, and keep bringing your attention back to the breath and the sensation that you're feeling on this right side. The breath is still flowing deep. Notice if you're tensing in the upper body, let that go. Good. Take one more big inhale. Long exhale. As you inhale, slowly bring your palms back towards the body. And then we're gonna curl the toes and that left foot under so you can press the floor away, make some room so you can bring that right leg all the way back. And then walk out your dog here. Any kind of little wiggles that you need to make. Feel all the blood rush back into that right knee. Good. Settle your dog here for a moment. And then we're going to take it on the other side. So center that right foot, raise that left leg straight up. Go ahead and bend the knee. And then start those circles on this side. You can make them as big or small as you want. Keep pressing the weight evenly into both hands. So if you're making these circles super big and you're kind of like really getting wonky, just make them a little smaller. It's all about the control here, the breath. Notice if the breath is starting to get shallow. And then go ahead and take those the opposite, just a few rounds. At any time, you can also do this on the knee. You can take these same movements down here. You don't have to be in downward dog. Good. Take one more deep breath in. Straighten that leg out. And then exhale, draw that left knee all the way up towards the left wrist. And go along with that right leg. Straight back from the right glute. Flatten the top of the right foot. Come tall here, flexion in the left foot. If you need to pad up, like this is my bad side, I got some space. So I, for now, am just gonna let it rest on a blanket until it starts to open up, and then you can also take that away once it settles. So stay here for a few deep breaths. And then, of course, this might be a big opening. Stay here the whole time. If you're invited to go deeper, then we can start to walk those hands a little bit longer on our mats, start to lean, stay long in the spine, maybe bend to the forearms here. And just notice if this is where you want to stay. There's no right or wrong way to do these stretches. We just want to make sure we're not going to injure anything. So that's where that mindfulness comes in. Just try not to do, if you did something last week, it might have felt good, and then something happens along the week where you fall wearing gear or anything like that, and then that knee is not going to be happy with you this time. So it's always different. Just be where you're at. Doesn't matter what you did last class or what you're going to do the next class. And then if you're here, maybe that space opened a little bit, maybe then you settle in. Maybe allow the forehead to come down towards the mat. And breathe. And then maybe that mind's eye again travels now to this side. Noticing all of the sensations that are arising here. It's all about the surrender here. We're just allowing the body to take on the shape, and we hold in the space and we just breathe with it. See if you can make those exhales twice as long as the inhales. That can also help facilitate more relaxation in the body here. Take 5 more rounds of breath on this side. Good, big breath in. Long exhale. Good, if you're down on the forehead, make your way to your forearms. You're on your forearms, and we slowly start to make our way up, and we're just gonna stay here on this left hip, plunk over on it, and then draw that right leg all the way around. See if you can bring this right foot to the outside of that left thigh, and then hike that left heel up into the right glute. So we're in a nice tight little package here. Wrap that left arm around that right shin. Right arm's gonna go right behind the base of your spine. Big deep breath in, and then exhale, take a nice little twist towards your right. Maybe start to let the chin go back towards that right shoulder. Some of you guys might be here and you might be like, I need more. You can take the elbow to the outside, and that will deepen the twist in the spine if that feels good for your back. So you can always try something on for a moment and see if it's you today. And if not, come back to the other version. Staying tall, so crown of the head is reaching nice and tall. Use that right palm as a kickstand to lengthen that spine. And you're feeling a nice stretch here in that right glute. Take 3 more deep breaths. Good, deep breath in. Exhale, if the chin is behind, go ahead and let that come forward first, and then the whole spine will unravel forward. And we'll take that on the other side. So uncross your legs, take that right heel into the left glute, and then take that left foot to the outside of that right, that thing, quad. And then from here, wrap that right arm around, left arm behind, press into that left palm, get your length here. Keep drawing that left knee in towards the midline, and then start to journey towards your left. Maybe the neck starts to drift, or the chin drifts back towards that left shoulder. You have the option here of taking that elbow to the outside to deepen that twist. Whatever feels good. Tall spine, deep breathing. Feel the stretch that's happening in that left glute. Good, 2 more deep breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. The chin is behind, draw it back in line with the spine as that whole spine travels forward. And then from here, we're just gonna come back into that bound angle where we began, maybe on the floor, except we're seated. So grab onto your toes, draw your heels as far back in towards your glutes as it feels good. Take a deep breath and lift and lengthen, and then exhale, just hinge at the hips. Elbows land on those inner thighs, drawing the shoulders on the back, leaning the sternum towards the feet. Breathe here. Take a deep breath in. Good. Exhale. Inhale, come up tall. Now, you might keep the heels here, or you might want to maybe move them forward just a little bit if that's still pretty intense. And now we're just going to let this, shape of the body just be nice and loose for this next one. Inhale with the arms up. And it's like you're diving into a pool of water here. Let your fingers come down. And then feel into that lower back, outer hips. Let the fingertips come to the earth. Let the shoulders just relax to their sides. Feel that nice wide, broad back. Maybe if it's okay for the neck, you can allow the chin to release down towards the sternum, crown of the head reaching for the feet. And it can feel kind of nice here if just feel into a little wiggle in your body. Maybe a little rock, maybe a little roll side to side. Just do what feels nice and breathe. Nice passive forward fold here with a hip opener. Each exhale, you might find that the crown of the head comes a little bit closer to your feet. And then you can hang in this one as long as you want to. Sometimes all of a sudden you'll feel the floor meet your forehead. It's pretty comforting to know that you can actually get there if you just hang long enough. Take 2 more deep breaths. Good. Inhale that head back in line with the spine if it's dropped. Walk the palms back towards you. Press yourself tall. Maybe go ahead and grab the outsides of the knees. Draw them together. Good. Give yourself a nice little hug here. Maybe a little rock again. Let those hips reset. Those inner thighs. And then we'll make our way down for Shavasana. So however you want to get down to the earth, go ahead and bring yourself down. Maybe allow the legs to be long. Let the hands go down to the sides. Press into the back of the head. Lift the shoulders. Broaden the back and let it relax down onto the mat. And here we'll just breathe. Allow everything to relax. And you can stay in Shavasana for as long as you need to. Thanks for trying this out today. Namaste.